to give you that 1x. Now, the 4/10 will reduce. Remember, we're the big time now. How does 4/10 reduce, Charlie? 2/5. Okay, to 2/5. Very good. Okay, so our answer is x equals 2/5. And don't forget to box your answer. There you go, Charlie. Okay. Okay, moving on here. Now we're going to look at some problems that have fractions in it, okay? And so we'll go ahead and go to this problem here. 4/3 x equals 9. Now, 4/3 x is the same as 4x over 3. But I'm writing it in this format so that we keep the number in front of the x. So it's 4/3 x. Okay, it's a little bit easier for us to handle in this format. Okay, and so here, Charlie, this problem here, we have a fraction in front of that x. Okay, and so, and some of you have also said that, well, I do this problem this way and that way and whatever. Okay, that's fine, but I'll do it a couple ways for all of you out there that have asked that. So 4/3 x equals 9. Now the first way I'm going to do is using the reciprocal, which means we're going to take the reciprocal of this 4/3 and multiply it to both sides. And what is the reciprocal of 4/3, Charlie? 3/4. Okay, it is 3/4. So we're going to go ahead and show this multiplying 3/4 to both sides up here. Okay, so if we take this 3/4 times 4/3, notice when you multiply reciprocals, some of you might know, when you take two reciprocals and multiply them together, you're going to get a positive 1. Okay, and so 3/4 times 4/3 will be 1. But let's look at why that is, Charlie. Pay attention. Look up there, Charlie. I am. All right. So when we do this, okay, notice we multiply both sides by 3/4. On the left-hand side, we notice those 3's cancel out, and 3/3, those will become a what, Charlie? 1. I'm dividing both of those by 3. It's like saying 3/3 is 1. So the way we show it is we get 1/1. Remember, when they cancel, 3/3 does not equal, when you cancel 3/3, you don't get 0, which a lot of you guys are writing out there. I don't know why. It's probably because you've been brought up on a calculator. All you calculator kids out there. Okay? You don't need a calculator for these problems. You're the big time. Anyway, the 3's cancel out and you get a 1/1. And the 4's will cancel out, Charlie, also giving you what? 1/1. And what's 1 times 1? I hope you don't have to take a calculator for 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And on the bottom you have 1 times 1, which is 1. So we end up with 1 divided by 1. That's 1. And so you have 1x on the left-hand side. Now the right-hand side, Charlie, okay, we have a 1x on the left-hand side. Now notice 3/4 times 9. We cannot kung fu that problem because that 4 does not divide evenly into the 9. You'll have to see the previous lectures when we talked about kung fu math to understand what we're talking about. You have to go to my website for that. Anyway, we have 3/4 times 9. We have to write the 9 as a fraction. So here we go. Left-hand side, we have the 1x. The right-hand side, we have 3/4 times 9/1, right? And now how do we multiply fractions, Charlie? Straight across the top and straight across the bottom. Okay, there we go. And so we get what? X equals 27/4. There you go. Don't forget to box your answer. See, isn't this fun? Woo. All right, anyway, let's move on here. Now, let's look at another type of problem where we have a fraction on both sides, okay? And one more time, I will use this reciprocal technique here, okay? Where we're trying to get the x by itself. We need to get 1x. Well, we have 3/2 x there. And we need to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3/2 to get that 1x. Okay, Charlie, what's reciprocal of 3/2? 2/3. Very good, Charlie. It's 2/3. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2/3. There you go. Okay, 2/3 multiplied to both sides. Now, on the left-hand side, Charlie, right here, what happens to those 2's? They cancel. They will cancel. And the 3's? Those will cancel. They will also cancel. So the left-hand side will have 1x. The right-hand side, we will get what? Nothing reduces there. You're going to multiply straight across the top and then straight across the bottom. 10/9. Okay. And so what do we get, Charlie? 10/9. X equals 10/9. Excellent. There we go. Don't forget to circle or box your answer or circle it, whatever you're doing. Okay. Now, the second part, part 2 of this lecture, we will deal with a different technique. We're going to do the same problem again here, but we're going to do this technique called clearing fractions, okay? And clearing fractions, we've already talked about, that was our Kung Fu math technique. Okay, and so you got to practice the Kung Fu, remember. So, now, to clear fractions like this, what we're going to do is we look at the lowest common denominator of all of our fractions in our equation. Not only the left-hand side, but the right-hand side, okay? We need to look at those fractions and then look at their denominators and find the lowest common denominator. Then once we find that lowest common denominator, we will multiply both sides by that lowest common denominator, and we will see the fractions will disappear. They get Kung Fu'd. That's right. Okay, so let's look at this problem here. Charlie, get that problem there. What is the lowest common denominator there? 6. It's 6. Yes, it is 6 because both the 3 and the 2 divide evenly into 6. 6 is the smallest number that both 3 and 2 divide evenly into, and that's our lowest common denominator. So we'll go ahead and list that for you up there. Okay. And what are we going to do with that lowest common denominator, Charlie?
Multiply both sides.
Multiply both sides by it. Okay, so there we go. Now we have 6 times 3 halves equals 6 times 3 fifths. Okay.
5
Now
thirds.
right there, we can do some clearing fractions or Kung Fu. We can Kung Fu the fractions right out of there. Watch. Okay, Charlie. The right-hand side there, the left-hand side of our equation, we have 6 times 2/3. Okay. The Kung Fu technique is to do what, Charlie?
2 goes into 6, 3, and 3 times 3 is 9.
That's right, 9x for the left-hand side. Now, what do we get on the right-hand side, Charlie?
The
3 goes into 6 how many times?
2 times
And then 2 times?
5 is 10.
Very good, Charlie, it is 10. So, we end up with 9x equals 10. Very good. Now, notice here, the fractions are gone. They got cleared, or Kung Fu'd, okay? And so now it's just a matter of solving for x by dividing both sides by what, Charlie? 9. By 9. Okay, so we'll go ahead and list that. There it is. 9x equals 10 over 9. And don't forget, those 9s cancel out to give you a 1. And 1x, so we get what, Charlie? 10x. Very good. So that is our answer. Don't forget to box your answer. So we will continue in the second part of this lecture with this clearing fractions technique, or something I like to call Kung Fu math. Okay, so anyway, stick around. We'll see you again a little bit later. And don't forget to do your homework.
What?